Chris Cotter inside our college football live studios, along with Coach Mora from UCLA, Coach Kiffin from USC. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I got a question for you about this rivalry. Do you have to win LA in order to? I mean, how important is it to win LA? Let me ask it that way.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how about softball to start this thing out?
I got both of you here on. I know you're friends, but I know you're neighbors.
No, I mean, we're both competitive, and you know, we want to win every game. Mm-hmm. And he wants to win every game. It's not just about us beating USC or them beating UCLA. We both want to be national championships.
What about recruiting?
Well, we compete for a lot of the same players, but the great thing about our area is there's a lot of great players in the area. So if one chooses to come to UCLA and not USC, and another chooses to go to USC and not UCLA, you know, I'd hope that at some point it balances out. But we're going to compete like heck in everything that we do. That's just the nature of the business, and I think it's our nature as human beings as well.
Coach Hoke at Michigan, for example, won't even say Ohio State. You know, he won't say the state on the end of it. I mean, does there have to be some even if it's manufactured animosity? You had Neuheisel when Neuheisel and Carroll were there. Neuheisel had the billboard and whatnot. Does that play into it at all at some point?
I don't think so. You know, I mean, different people are going to handle situations different.
Yeah.
It is a great rivalry. It's very unique because it's in the same city. The fan base is so close to each other, working with each other, sometimes marrying each other in the divided houses out there. So it's exciting to be a part of, and obviously we want to get back to where we were before and get back to winning it.
What have you learned about not only just the rivalry here, but also just about coaching at the college game, maybe that you didn't know or didn't expect before you got to UCLA?
Well, the rivalry is fun, you know, because like Lane said, there's, you know, you'll go through neighborhoods in the LA area and they have the house divided flags, you know, half of it's USC, half of it's UCLA, and we sit 12 miles apart, so it's a unique rivalry. What I think is important is that both of us have really strong programs, and that game at the end of the year means something, not just to the Pac-12, but on a national scope. And I know that's what I'm after. What I've learned about college football is it's a blast. You know, right now I love it. I guess it's the right thing for me at this time in my life. You know, being at UCLA and living in Los Angeles has been a real positive experience.
Lane, for you, your program right now, you're sort of on the backside of sanctions, so you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. How has that made it difficult for you to put the best team on the field?
Well, I think our sanctions and our reductions, you know, have been documented and talked about a lot, and so we don't talk about it very much. You know, we just want to maximize the situation that we're in, and we're excited to get to this next season. Our whole staff is, and our players, and next week's going to be exciting to get back on the field.
Do you feel any added pressure from the fan base at USC, since USC has been so dominant for so long over the years? And yeah, you have these sanctions, and they've had an impact on you guys.
Sure, they have. You know, but at the same time, I think when you come to USC, you have to understand you're on the hot seat the day that you sign that contract, especially if you're going to follow Pete Carroll and the success he had. So that's part of it. It goes up and down, and you can't let that distract you. You got to stay focused and make sure that you're making the best decisions for your team and not outside influences.
I know both of you have answered questions like this during your entire time as head coaches at these schools, but it seems to me when you look across college football, and especially in the Pac-12, the offenses are ahead of the defenses, or at least the offenses have the game right now, Coach Mora. They seem to be the more dominant side. Is it just too difficult to play defense against all the different offenses, especially in the Pac-12 right now?
Well, I think there's an ebb and a flow to it. You know, I think the tide will turn. I think, you know, the defense is probably playing catch up a little bit right now, but I think that it'll swing in the defense's favor here eventually. It's just about being creative, staying up with the trends, trying to recruit the right types of athletes to match the systems that you're facing and that fit your system. But I think there's a give and a take that way. Right now, you know, it would be foolish to say that offenses don't, at least in the Pac-12, have a little bit of an upper hand. You know, it's spread out, it's wild west. You know?
Right.
It's like fast break basketball. But there's also teams like USC that are a little bit, you know, I don't want to say traditional West Coast, but a little bit more like we're used to seeing football being played. So it's just a challenge every week.
Is that a direction, you know, that Coach Moore talks about, fast-paced, even no huddle often, that college football is heading in, do you think?
Well, I think college football is going that way. Our conference definitely has gone that way. You know, but you go back to, yeah, there's great offenses too, but also look at it at the end of the day, in our conference, the best offense didn't win the Pac-12. The best defense did. and Stanford did. And the best defense arguably in the country won the national championship. So at the same time of all this stuff going on, it's extremely critical, I think, no matter what systems you're in, to play great defense and to run the ball at some point efficiently.
Do you have an issue with the hurry-up offenses?
I do when they're scoring 70 points against us, I do. No, I mean, it is where a lot of college football has gone, but also at the same time, too, you know, we don't go that direction because that's not what we do. And I think we've seen people try to change to things over the years, just like back when pro style was the thing to do. And if you don't know it and you change to it, it doesn't work. So there's benefits to it, but there's also downsides to it, too. It puts your defense in some different situations in practice as well.
What is it, and we've heard from a lot of conference commissioners about the way the NCAA needs to change, the way they govern, you know, the conferences and whatnot. What's your take on the way things are right now with the conferences, with the Pac-12 specifically, and their relationship with the NCAA, and what, in your mind, may be the biggest thing that needs to change moving forward?
I really don't have an opinion. You know, I don't know. I probably don't know enough about the issues, nor do I care about them. I care about UCLA and UCLA football and trying to win the game we're playing. So I let the people that are at a higher pay grade take care of those issues, and I'm just going to concentrate on coaching football.
Coach Kiffin, do you feel the same way about that? Are you just so focused on football, all of those administrative details are sort of out a mile away?
I think, you know, it goes back to what Jim said. You know, he's worried about his team. You know, we can't control those things. We're not going to have a lot of input in those things, and so let's worry about what we can control. We got plenty of problems ourselves that we got to work on within our football program to get better. Specifically
then about your teams, you lose a lot of talent from last year. I mean, when you talk about a Barkley, you talk about Woods and whatnot on the offensive side of the ball. You bring back Marquise Lee, but you've got a quarterback battle. How has that played itself out in the spring? And then you've got some other people coming in the summer to battle it out as well.
Yeah, I think the quarterback competition has been good. I think it's been good for us to get back on the field in spring. All three of the guys did a great job controlling the offense, managing the huddle, and limiting turnovers. You know, we go back to what happened last year, and there's all these different things, but at the end of the day, we got to what mattered with winning and losing. And we turned the football over too much, and we didn't convert on third downs. And when you do that, the game gets out of whack like it did at times for us last year, and we become too easy to beat.
Mm-hmm. You don't have a quarterback issue, but that might be the only issue you don't have coming into the year because you got so many young players that you're going to expect to get a lot of, don't you?
Yeah, we're pretty solid at the quarterback position and feel good about the direction that Brett's headed. But we've got issues just like everybody does. You know, I think paramount to that is probably our secondary. Mm-hmm. You know, we lost all four starters, and then two young men that we were expecting to come in and start for us both have medical concerns and won't be able to play this year. So we're going to have to play some young guys, some inexperienced guys, but that's okay. Let's throw them out there and let them go. I think we've got an outstanding group of linebackers. We've got a good defensive line. Our offensive line is a group that's certainly up and coming, a lot of young, talented guys. And then we've got to fill the hole that Jonathan Franklin left, our great running back, who's the leading rusher in UCLA history. So some challenges, but that's what this game's about. You know, it's about meeting those challenges and rising above them, and we're excited about the opportunity.
Coach Mora, Coach Kiffin, looking forward to seeing you guys meet those challenges this year.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.